Hi everyone, welcome back, or hello for the first time. Thank you for watching. The weather here is really horrible. Can't see to the end of the field, so we've had our ewes to lamb out for a little bit today, but they're coming in now. We just can't afford to have any lambs born outside in this weather. I think with it being so cold, I think I'm going to take pity on the tups. So we have two Beltex tups outside at the moment, and I just think I'm going to give them a bit of TLC, bring them in. We've got a fully empty fold yard at the moment, so I'll bed it up and get them some haylage, fresh water, and get them in so they can have a night in the warmth. I'm not saying they won't be going back out again, but there's loads of room for them in there even if we don't let them out during the days. Welcome to another episode of Ralph Going Mental. Well, I have to say, they look pretty happy and content, don't they? They have a really big, they have this whole fold yard to themselves, they've got water, they've eaten most of their hay net with haylage, and I have given them a couple of fodder beets as well. So yeah, they look very happy and I'm so glad I brought them in. They've got the ewes and lambs on the other side of the fold yard as well, so they've got some company over here. That's Up Here Downer. She's the first one who lambed. Her lambs are growing away now and really thriving. I still don't understand why they like sitting on that concrete when they've got all this straw and they still go on there. But yeah, as you can see over there, number one, I don't know where her other lamb is, might be behind her, but yeah, they're looking really strong and healthy, so very pleased with them. Here is the ewe who gave birth to the black and white lambs in my last video, and I've just spotted them again on the concrete. I don't know why, but cuddled up together, but very settled. Good lass. I'm back in the lambing shed to feed, well, the triplets that were born over the weekend. One of them may have some from the bottle, we'll just see, but whilst I've been doing other jobs this morning, my mum's been on duty and we've had this lovely pair behind me. Now this is an interesting one because this ewe has a yellow bottom, which means that she was tupped in the first cycle of tupping, basically. So that cycle technically ends tomorrow. So then we're looking for green bottoms. They'll be the ones who should be lambing next. We do still have, I think, probably a couple of yellow bottoms to lamb, so they should hopefully, if they go to their exact date, should be lambing very soon. This is the one that's just lambed, a yellow bottom, and can you see this one here is a yellow bottom, so she should be lambing anytime soon, really. She's quite nicely bagged up, so yeah, we'll see when she lambs. I was very worried then because I could only see these two triplets. Luckily this one is tucked in behind her, but that is definitely a worry for us if we can't see all the lambs in the pen. Unfortunately, it does happen that sometimes the ewe can lay on the lamb. Obviously if that happens and you're not there, the lamb has no chance at all, which is really unfortunate. So this one is the one that I'm going to try and feed, and albeit it might only be a couple of days old, it's already associating us with the milk. So these two lambs here are a bit stronger, and so they obviously get the pick of the milk. And then this little one, I'm going to try and film and see if I can get him to see. There we go. Oh, he's nearly straight on. Come on. So here we go with this little one. He's not perfect at sucking yet, so if I just keep my hand underneath his chin, it hopefully helps him stay latched on. We have had a pair lamb in the main lambing shed, so now I'm going to go over, pick them up and get them moved into their individual pen. You can see me just there in the background, and I'm about to pick the lambs up and hoping that the ewe follows me. Sometimes I make a kind of maring noise just to try and imitate the lamb and help encourage the ewe to follow me. She was really well behaved, followed her lambs, wanted to know exactly where they were. Here I am opening the bar with my foot, and then we get the lambs into the pen, the ewe follows, and I pop them down in the fresh straw. The next job, and we do this for all lambs born as soon as we can after they are born, is put iodine on the navel. So this helps dry the navel up and ensures that we minimise the risk of any infections getting into the lamb through that point. So when we've got new lambs like that and I'm moving them into a pen, I always keep an eye on which sheep follow me, which ones are interested in the sound of lambs. And this one, well, there's a couple over there, but this one here you can see is a yellow bottom. So I'm quite interested in her being interested in the lambs because it makes me think, is she getting broody? Is she thinking about lambing? I headed to Skipton Auction Mart for the NSA, so National Sheep Association, Next Generation Winter Gathering. This was a fantastic thing to be part of, and I was lucky enough to be asked by the AHDB to be involved in a bit of a discussion session in the afternoon about sustainability and the role of the next generation. I feel like on the arable side of the farm, we are much more advanced in our data recording, and going to this gathering made me think actually we need to bring the sheep up to that level of data recording, help our decision making, and learn what works best. It was absolutely fascinating to be able to hear from the next generation. I actually left the day feeling really, really optimistic. I think we have a big part to play, and hopefully we can keep bringing our ideas to strengthen food and farming and agriculture. I thought I'd show you what I do to get the lambing shed ready for the ewes to lamb to come back in. So I've turned them out. If you've watched any of my other stuff, you'll know that we try and get them out every day, even if it's just for a couple of hours, stretch their legs. It also means that getting the shed ready is then so much easier without sheep in. Now, as you can see, the shed isn't particularly dirty, but we bed up every other day. We just like to keep it as clean as possible. We also have this hay rack and that ring feeder, and then half a ring feeder to fill up for the normal ewes to lamb. This pen behind me, that smaller one with half a ring feeder, is for the triplets. Well, ewes expecting triplets, so that's the same again, bed up and fill up the rack. I like to get this job done as soon as possible on a morning, because then if there is one lambing, it's easy just to bring them in. Sometimes you can get the one lambing in on her own, sometimes you have to bring all of them in. So yeah, I like to get these jobs done ASAP. And then also if things don't go to plan, you know, with other jobs I'm doing, I'm sorted in the lambing shed. I like to make sure that I scrape back the straw from the doors here. They drag some out when they go out. So yeah, if I scrape it back, it means it doesn't get stuck in the doors, and then I can still get the pins down. Because these two doors I shut fully on an evening. That one at the far end is still broken, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get that fixed soon. But yeah, airflow comes in at that end. If it did get really warm, I could always keep these partially open and I'd put a bar just across the middle there. But we haven't had any weather warm enough for me to think that that's needed. I get the loader bucket filled with the haylage. So I've got some haylage in my racks there. I've bedded up. And I've brought this ewe in from the field. As you can see, she's lambing. So just waiting to see if she does anything herself and leave her for a bit. We try not to get involved, but if she's not making any progress and we think there's a problem, I'll have a feel and see if I can identify it and help her out. Just been for a walk around the ewes to lamb. All quiet at the moment, apart from one right at the bottom who I just think she's looking a bit uneasy, but no signs as yet. Lambs in the field, happy here. Just have a glance over at them as I walk past, and then I see this. That sheep has jumped into the garden. Well, there's her lamb as well. So this is a there, that wall. So there is a drop down there, a walk down. This wall's a bit smaller and a smaller drop. So basically they jump up this wall, go into the garden. Well, that's the veg garden, it looks a bit scratty right now. But then walk up the garden. There's a gap in between that hedge there. And she's enjoying a bit of time on the front lawn. Absolutely loving it. I mean, that grass is a lot greener than this grass, so I can see why she's doing it. It's kind of hard to see the scale of this drop, but yeah, towards the far end, like all the way down here, it's not that high at all, so you can jump up. So yeah, just having a whale of a time. Don't know whether to just leave her. Will she jump back in? Who knows? Obviously I don't want them to fall down here, but I'd say they're quite savvy and wouldn't do that. But not ideal. What is it about sheep escaping today? You're not meant to be in there, are you? Huh? She just doesn't care.
Well, the ewe who I've been watching had triplets, both healthy, but this one you can see here in shot just hasn't quite got to grips with drinking from its mother yet. So what I'm doing is milking out this colostrum into a jug, which I'll bottle feed the lamb later. She's been good, she's standing nicely. The lamb, as I said, is very, very healthy, just hasn't quite got to grips with getting that vital colostrum.
So we are nearly getting there with this lamb. There's not too much left. I'd really like him to finish it all. Even if he just gets a little taste for it, hopefully it'll give him a bit more enthusiasm to go looking for it from his mum. But if not, as I said, little and often, and we can keep topping him up and helping him to learn that he's got to drink milk. Not enough. Just try again. But you've got to think they've also got, oh yeah, turned over a new leaf there. They do only have little tummies as well, so you don't want to overdo it. I'm very impressed. I think we might get this finished, you know. I'm just listening for the sound on the bottle, so it changes kind of pitch. There we go. So you don't want them to suck in any air out of the bottle because that could give them a tummy ache. But I'm really happy. He's licking his lips. Was that nice? But now I know that he will suck. That's a real positive. It means he won't need tubing, hopefully. I can go off and do my other jobs knowing that he has got a little bit of milk in his tum. Oh. And yeah, hopefully he'll settle, have a little rest, and then be able to go and find milk himself. There you go. Little one, aren't you? Go be back to mum.
Well, that's it from me in the lambing shed this week. Thank you as always for watching, and if you enjoyed this episode, please do like and subscribe.